And we are live.
Hello and welcome to the International Overwatch League Minors, Season 5, Week 1. Today we have Morgan against Ohana Black Coral. Very excited to join this game today. I am Queenie and a wonderful caster, Light. Hi, how are you today, Light?
I'm like super jazzed to be back out here. It's been it's been like a while. Like, how was your break?
Oh, it was wonderful, but I am excited to be back in her. I just had my first casting. I just actually ended my first casting with Jack for this season, so I'm excited for this casting.
Oh yeah, how was that? I didn't get a chance to hop in, but I heard it went to map 5. Pretty intense.
It did, and both those teams did absolutely wonderful, so I'm ready for these two teams to do absolutely wonderful as well.
Oh man. And this is like our week 1. Week 1 has been pretty busy for us. We're going to be doing some casting later on. We're just like back to back casting. I forgot that like without playoffs everybody like starts at the same time and we have all of these every team has a game. So we're out here starting, and it looks like one of our teams, Morrigan, looks like they're ready to go. We're checking over here on Ohana Black Coral. We do have an NA versus EU game today, so that's pretty exciting.
Yes, definitely. With NA and EU ping, it's pretty much all up to the ping with these teams. So we'll have to see how well EU does against the NA ping and how NA does against the EU ping.
Yeah, it looks like from the coin cost. The coin toss, we're going to be starting with NA and then going back and forth. So there will be 2 full EU maps with 3 NA maps if they continue to map 5. We're looking to see how it usually goes back and forth with the ping. So I'm looking forward to seeing if we're going to get a long game or if in the off season Morrigan and Ohana Black Coral have been practicing their strengths.
Most definitely. I know sometimes that EU teams like to practice on NA pings just to get that NA down, and I'm pretty sure NA does the exact same thing with EU pings. You know, that can come to a great advantage being able to learn to play on those pings. I know last season I was on an EU team, so I practiced a lot on EU, which came in handy with me playing both NA and EU. So I know those pings can be life or death sometimes, definitely in these games.
Exactly. Like, I try to play on EU ping. That's usually when I play my most Mercy. I don't have to do as much aiming. I play a lot of Baptiste, and so I'm like, I can't. I'm gonna get dragged around for 100 ping. I might as well just go ahead and do my best grabbing onto someone else.
Yes, I know. When I was playing on EU last season, I became one hell of an ash on an EU ping. But the only bad thing about being on an EU team is that I kind of forgot how to play on NA. So it was a lot of adjustment there.
Right, all of a sudden everything is really fast. Like, oh my god, everything's responding so quickly.
It's like I could not make a headshot to save my life on NA ping after playing that long on EU.
Oh man, I've been like playing with more Xbox players because of the cross play thing, and it's been fairly interesting, like our different skill sets.
Yeah, I do have to agree with that too, because honestly, coming into season 5, I'm on a Xbox team. I am the only PS on the Xbox team, and it is a little bit of a change there.
All right, it looks like our teams are ready. Good luck, everyone. If you're watching our stream, let us know if you have any predictions, but I don't have any. It's the start of the season. Anything could happen. I favor Elios. It's a lot of nice scenery. It's very peaceful. And then you get destroyed in the pit.
Oh yes, especially on this map. I mean, it's there's so much high ground around you and so much stuff to hide under, but as soon as you touch that point, there's like no cover.
Yeah, like here you would think you'd have a little bit more coverage because of the top of the, Acropolis right here, or some of the statues and columns, but it really just kind of reveals just how open you are. But maybe we're going to see some Lucio play since they got to get to this middle point here first.
All right, we have our lineups. Look like that we are running a copy tank here with the Reinhardt Divas for both teams, but we've got a Doomfist Pharah for Morgan and a Junkrat Reaper for Ohana. And then the Lucio and Bat for Ohana and Lucio Bat again for Morgan.
Yeah, let's see. We saw some excellent Reinhardt play last season, so I'm looking forward to seeing how the Reins come together this season after having some time off.
Oh, most definitely. I know the game that I just casted, the Reinhardt and Zarya combos were just beautiful.
Yeah, it looks like Firemaker and Very Cookie are spending some time looking in each other's eyes, but I think Firemaker's going for it.
And he does get the early pick off of Cookie, so it looks like Morgan has the advantage here.
Yeah, it seems like Ohana Black Coral's kind of backed off to kind of reassess. They didn't take any. They took a couple deaths there, so they're just taking some time to reorganize. I think they're going to be ready for them here.
Ohana making their way back to the point here. See Cookie trying to touch point, but then backs off. Waiting for the rest of his team to come behind me, and Ohana finally touches the point.
Oh, huge shatter.
And now Ohana has control of the point.
Yeah, it looks like Morrigan's going to have some ultimates coming up on the support line side here, so they're going to be able to do a decent push if they want to.
Morgan trying to touch point here, but Lucio does get a little bit of a boop back there. Window coming into play to get some good kills, but Doomfist gets him easily.
Yeah, quite a few ultimates going here. We have both Baptiste windows, a bomb, a visor, just a basket full of things to be thrown down here.
It looks like Morgan is up here. They get the Diva demeched there. Lucio trying to stay on point, but gets booped away from that Doomfist.
Yeah, I think Danny's gonna have to figure out how to get out, and I turn on the speed boost. Oh, but not quite. Diva gets him. Oh, it looks like we're getting some large changes over. Now we get a Pharah on strong.
Ohana's trying to make their way back to the point here. Do you see Pharah touching point, but Diva's trying to get her out of the sky as best as she can.
Yeah, it looks like Morrigan's just going to see if they can bait them down from the high ground while Ohana decides if they're ready to go. Very is down here with Diva, but it might not be the best situation for Very, unfortunately. Ooh.
Oh, and that Shatter getting that Diva onto the ground. Immortality comes out, but gets taken down pretty fast.
Alright, we're coming up on the last 10 seconds of the match. Some big choices are going to have to be made here with the ultimates that we have in the bank. Pharah does have Barrage.
See shield coming out from Symmetra. And there is the Barrage coming into play. We see Bomb in the back.
Morrigan's bomb does get Very, and it looks like Symmetra is cleaning up out here, just ready to go with the full charge.
Diva still trying to contest this point, gets booped up the high ground and demech.
And strong plays from both teams right there. I'm not a fan of the pit, but, you know, I see great efforts coming out from both teams. It looks, you know, Ohana Black Coral did some changes by linking up the Pharah, and that Symmetra is just a little bit trickier than they intended.
Most definitely, and I think it dies on his Doomfist is doing a lot of damage coming out on that first map as well.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of Doomfist on Ilios lately. I don't know if it's the sun on their skin or punching people in between building hallways, you know, whatever works for them. It's quite terrifying as a support. Yeah, it looks like we are
pretty much keeping the same lineups here.
And Sim TP.
Looks like Morgan's going to go ahead and take the high ground, keep trying to get point control here first. Doomfish is charging right in there. And Morgan does get the point capture first.
Yeah, fortunately Han, Solo, and D.Va makes it out. With the support line, they are able to get back to regroup. But yeah, Morrigan does get first point here, so they're looking pretty cozy. Oh! We got a respawn jump.
Looks like Ohana's going to try to go around the buildings this time and come in through the center.
Yeah, we have Strong building up his ultimate, taking some shots out here from the front where it's safe from behind his tank line, but he's feeling pretty ambitious with a flash over the shield. And he does get Lucio.
Swinging back and forth here. D.Va jumps into the party. Immortality comes out to play. Window comes out to play.
Yeah, it seems a little even. All they gotta really do is get Instein and Reinhardt off the point. He does get very.
And it looks like Ohana's gonna go ahead and take this point from Morgan.
I'm wondering, oh, it looks like they are keeping up with the same TP strategy on the high ground, and they are back, ready to fight. Firemaker getting caught in a trap on right side, though.
We do see Sim turrets on point. And Ban gets taken down by Cookie.
Yeah, D.Va and Junkrat on the back of the point. Junkrat does have tire, so that could be a huge play for them, but D.Va's just hunting him down, but it looks like Han is also just D.Va to D.Vaing it.
We see Beat, Shatter, and Bomb coming into play.
Ooh, a huge tire.
Ohana still having control here. Looks like Ban is on point. Teleporters are up. Oh, he tried to beat, but unfortunately got taken down.
Yeah, Ban standing pretty strong here with the 9 health, but that was a pretty firm hold.
Reinhardt charging into point. Immortality comes out to point for Ohana. You know, Ohana had a little bit of a late struggle here, but they're looking pretty strong on this second map.
Speaking of strong, did you see that Strong Noodle has his Deadeye, which could play very well here in the last couple of seconds? It could be huge for them.
Definitely, yes.
But he gets taken out by its die. Oh no. He can make it back, but they're doing very well right now. D.Va is demeched.
See Window and onto play here. Oh, but time's ticking down and nobody is able to touch that point.
Yeah, good for Ohana Black Coral. Solid hold right there towards the end for sure. I was kind of worried about that Symmetra teleporter on the roof and if it might mess them up a bit since it like the travel distance is so short, but they held really steady inside. They didn't get distracted at all, which was so good for them.
Now coming up to the third map of Ilios, we see several changes coming out of both teams. Looks like both teams are going to go ahead and run the Orisa. But they went Hog out of Firemaker and Diva on Han. You know, with both teams having a Lucio, they should get to point pretty evenly here.
Yeah, it looks like Morrigan was a little bit slower on the approach, but they are just as about here as they are, so it's going to just be a battle of the Orisas, just kind of figure out who they can rip off first into the pit.
Well, most definitely. And with Firemaker and Hog, he tried to get that hook on the Orisa, but she was fortified, unfortunately. Both teams coming out equal here. Oh, the hook on the Orisa, and she does fall.
Yeah, Rick M already 74% to ult here, and we haven't even unlocked point yet, and he is going to get a tire within the next couple of seconds. Ooh, Ohana Black Coral cleaning it up real nice.
Both these teams have plenty of ults coming online. We got Diva Bomb and Tire along with Window coming out of Ohana, and Visor and Window. It looks like both tank ults coming for Morgan. Let's get you healed up.
Yeah,
and there's
huge.
The window for Ohana.
Yeah, that window's going to cause some issues for them to get in this doorway. And we also have Rick M sneaky top left on the roof ready to do a tire, and there it is.
Immortality comes into play and the tire gets taken down. All the ults coming into play. We see Visor, we see Bongos, we see Window.
Yeah, it looks like Ohana Black Coral played it safe and went left. Its die only found the Orisa Bongo, but...
Oh, another hook on Cookie. Well, that stun taking Hog out of his ult.
Oh, yeah, and Morrigan just takes it right back. These are always so evenly matched. It's like 60 and 70 and 70 and then 80. They always figure out a way to, like, make me have heart palpitations.
Looks like Morgan's going to go ahead and try to push up a little bit here to try to keep Ohana back. But Ohana does have 4 ults online. This could be a good ult push.
If Han Solo takes this Diva Bomb and kind of throws it exactly when they're ready, it could be huge.
We see High Noon coming from the back, doesn't get anybody. Oh, but Bomb does get a couple, and Band on that Hanzo does get 2 as well.
Yeah, certainly evening it out. Band in the back line looking at Baptiste for sure. Yeah, Band in the back room, kind of just biding his time, waiting to see for opportunity. It seems like he is going to get it, and he does. He gets strong noodle in the process.
That was a huge boop on Dan, but Danny was able to get back up.
It'll take more than that.
Yeah, Rick M again with the Junkrat tire, but Band does have dragons basically for these last couple of fights.
When Tire does come into play, just takes out Immortality.
Ooh, Ohana Black Coral doing a strong push here. Strong Noodle being the very best Noodle he can be with that double kill.
Arissa's still sitting with bongos here, but Morgan does have 4 alts online, so this could be another good alt line push here with being 87% to 80%.
It looks like if Roadhog, he's choosing, using this window to kind of get some of those its die on the Junkrat, gets 2.
And Morgan does take this point back. See the Junkrat in the back line trying to get this Orisa here.
It's a very bold push, but it looks like Morrigan's going to have some strong opportunities here. Both Orisa ultimates. We do have Hog ultimate as well, and I believe that was a Lucy ultimate? Oh.
Yes, High Noon comes to play. Oh, gets 2 there. It's still an all push here for Morgan. As the D.Va gets demeched and hooked and killed.
I got Raycam doing a last minute touch trying to buy some time. Oh, he does not make it. First map goes to Morrigan. That was amazing.
Yeah, both these teams are very equal, and the back and forth between them is very exciting, so I'm ready for the rest of these maps. Oh, look at this Lucio, Poggy Woggy.
Great efforts from both teams, just all around. Like, honestly, banned on the Hanzo makes my knees as a support, shake. I don't like a Hanzo in my business. He was in the back line with the Ohana Black Coral Baptiste. It was a little scary.
Most definitely, and I know Ban, and he has always been a great Hanzo, so seeing him on this team and pulling out that Hanzo does make me shudder a little bit because I just know how well he can play as Hanzo.
Alright, and if you're just joining us, Morrigan just took first map Elios on NA ping, and now we are going to Gibraltar on EU ping. It might change the game a little bit.
Most definitely, but like you saw Ohana, they were able to take that point quite a bit being on NA ping, so let's see how well they do on their own ping.
Oh man, like from last season, all I remember is that like some teams they would like learn to play to ping, and so really like Morrigan could really surprise us here if they have been spending their time practicing that same sort of skill, and then just continue to like come out on top. But I wouldn't be surprised if Ohana Black Coral felt a little more comfortable and in their element playing for what is better ping for them. Obviously, they might show us some new surprises since they're able to play a little bit quicker.
Most definitely, but with having Firemaker and BZ on tank, I think that Morgan will have a strong tank line there. And if Band is staying in, then they would have, Band and its Dies, who are wonderful DPS. And of course, Poggy Woggy, I mean, his Lucio that game, you saw his play of the game. He got those double boops. So going into Gibraltar, I'm really excited to see what these lineups would look like and see what exactly we're going to do to try to master this NA ping coming out of Morgan and how comfortable Ohana is on this ping just to see how fast they're going to be able to run through this.
We are waiting for the teams to see if we have any changes going into this map. I know some teams like to make changes based on what each map has to deliver, and here there's a lot of high ground, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some sharpshooters, out here in the headspace, which, oh my gosh, would allow for some serious killing space.
Most definitely, and coming into Gibraltar, Gibraltar has a lot of high ground. So if you're running any type of hit scans that can stay on that high ground, it's all about trying to make sure you contest that high ground. So maybe if like Hans decides to run that diva again, that will be very beneficial in Ohana's side to try to keep anybody off that high ground.
Yeah, like I feel like if there are going to be some high ground approaches, like what would you suggest? Like what would you like to see if there's any high ground contesting going on? What would you like to see from the other team do to counter that?
Pretty much anything that can go to that high ground. If they're running an Ash, a Widow, Soldier, McCree, anything that can keep that high ground. You want to make sure that you're running a Diva, a Ball, um, a Junkrat that can get up there to that high ground. Even another Ash is able to get up to that high ground and contest anything that's also on the high ground.
Yeah, it looks like we have just a little bit of some changes going on the back end that we are monitoring, and we will be moving on here in a tiny bit. But they are talking about beans and favorite food in the chat. If you have any opinions, let us know what your favorite foods are.
Every single time someone says beans, the only thing I could think of is that song that I always grew up. My mom always sang to me, beans, beans, the magical fruit. The more you eat, the
The
more
more
you
you.
do.
Yeah, exactly.
But Strong Noodle asked what's our favorite food. I have to say I absolutely love me some taco trucks, some tacos and burritos. I mean, I could live off of tacos, honestly.
Oh, it looks like, yeah, someone in the chat also recognized the song that your mom dearly sang to you about the magical fruit.
Hey, if you're a millennial like me, I mean, there's certain things that you grew up on. I don't want to say that like I came from a poor family, but we were very middle class, so beans and meat, like hamburger meat, beans, rice, that's all that I remember growing up on. So I do like some beans.
I know, I had my mom over recently, and she recently made like Great Northern beans with like spicy sausage, and it was like the best meal I had ever had. I could not believe I used to like eat it growing up and totally forgot about it and had it reintroduced. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is like amazing now.
Yeah, same for me. My mom, we always made Portuguese beans. And that has like five different type of meats and like two different types of beans in it, and it was just so hearty and filling. It's like you eat one bowl with some cornbread, and it was the best thing in the world.
Oh, how could I forget the cornbread? Exactly right.
Yes. One thing that I grew up on that I still feed to my children as well, but like everybody says they hate it now, is like hamburger helper. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember being a kid and being so excited for hamburger helper, but whenever I try to feed it to my kids, they're like, "No."
I know, I like you would think we were having a fever dream if we told kids like, "Hey, our dinner used to be made by a glove that had a face on it."
Yes. And it danced around, in the commercials.
Right, exactly, like a sentient glove. They would never believe us. They'd be like, "Go home, grandma, your fever dreams." All right, it looks like we did have some changes. Giggle, Harley, and Juice are in. I believe also as well as Plague and Sid are newly introduced to the Morrigan lineup. And we are keeping the same lineup for Ohana, but it looks like Rick is moving from DPS to tank, I believe.
Oh, so Morgan just completely threw in a whole new roster here. Maybe their first roster was more for NA ping, and that this roster kind of is more towards the EU ping. That could possibly be the idea here. So I'm excited to see all of these new players come into the second map and see how well they do.
Oh, we do have one more change coming in for Morrigan. We're going to bring Poggy back in for Plague.
So we might see the Lucio again.
Yeah, I think they might go for speed here. Alright, and let's make sure that our teams are ready. We do have a ready from Ohana. We just need a ready from Morrigan, and we will be able to move on.
What is your favorite hero to play on Gibraltar?
I'm really a Moira player on Gibraltar for the most part. It's really because I try to like slide through the doors at the last second. Whenever they're closing in that up and down formations, I don't get clamped or have to. I mean, it takes like 10 steps to the right or left, but more is really my speed now, especially with like the jump buff that she has. She's basically flying at this point.
I know. I was just recently playing Moira, and I realized that she could jump now, and I was like, oh, this comes in handy.
Exactly, like zooming. Like, who is your favorite? Who do you usually like when you have like a choice? What do you prefer to play?
Lately, I've been favoring a lot of Mercy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I just recently learned how to super jump, so that makes me all happy inside. Um, but like I said, Moira is amazing. Lucio is absolutely amazing, especially if you're running a very fast-paced comp on attack. Keep that speed boost on, keep your team moving. Um, but yeah, the Mercy has definitely been my go-to on anything lately.
Alright, it looks like both teams gave us the ready, so we're going to go ahead and move into map 2. This is Watched Point Gibraltar.
Arriving at Watchpoint Gibraltar. Initiating match. Ready for battle. Greetings.
Alright, it looks like we're getting a little Winston action over here on Morrigan with a Zarya. That'll be an interesting combo for him, giving him a lot of like mobility to use his own bubble and the Zarya bubble.
Most definitely, Double Bubble does work very well. I know in the game that we just casted earlier, me and Jack, they were running a lot of dive on this map. So I'm excited to see how well Giggle comes in here with this Winston.
Attackers incoming. Escort the payload.
Alright, looks like Giggle's kind of seeing where they're going to make first point of contact, but they're going up top, which I haven't really seen anyone do before.
Yeah, taking the long way around instead of going up those first steps of stairs is very different, but they are getting the high ground control here.
Yeah, it looks like they might be going for picks first before moving the point. They might feel more comfortable knowing that Morrigan is out of the way before picking up point.
We do have Winston in the back line here. They do get the early pick on the soldier. Giggle getting low here, but is staying in the backline trying to get as much damage done as he can. Oh, but he gets taken down by Strong Noodle.
Ooh, yeah, it looks like up top Mystic is finding some space back there. Her and Han keeping some eyes on each other, but Mystic does take Han out, unfortunately.
Ohana doing a good job pushing this point. We do see Morgan starting to come back to touch. Winston is starting to get low, but Poggy Woggy is doing a great job giving heals out. We see, oh, big visor coming out of Strong Noodle takes out Poggy Woggy.
Oh yeah, Hana gets that. It looks like Juice is a little stuck in the back line for right now. He's going to have to make some space to get out of here, but I think Rick is definitely on top of it, making sure that he has a little bit of a hard time getting out. Oh, they do find him upstairs.
That was a very unfortunate pick on that Junkrat. It's going to take him a little bit of time to get back. He does switch to Cassidy. See Cookie coming online with Shatter here. Actually, Ohana does have 4 ults online. Several ults coming out to play.
Whew, huge 3-man.
Strong Noodle trying to stay alive as best as he can.
I'm interested in seeing how this Echo copy is gonna go. Usually I've seen Echoes opt for like a tank, just it's just easier to, but they just killed their Rhine, so I don't know if now would be the best time for a copy.
Oh, but we do see Visor coming out of Strong Noodle. Beat does come into play for Morgan. And there's the copy on the Reinhardt. Oh, but gets taken out before he's able to get his ult. Morgan's staying strong, especially since they have such a close respawn.
Yeah, we have Ohana here. They're moving slowly but surely towards the end of the point here, just kind of biding their time, using the point for coverage, and they're just gonna take the fight to them, I guess. But yeah, like you mentioned, Spawn being right here is going to bide well for them.
Big bomb. Now it's all about just keeping them in their spawn, and they are able to do that.
Score 0-3. Switching sides. Initiating match.
With 3 minutes and 38 seconds in the time bank, that was a very fast push coming out of Ohana. So I wonder what exactly Ohana's going to do on defense to make sure that Morgan does not get as far as they did, or within less time.
I know, I was a little scared earlier because I saw Strong Noodle just kind of toying around with the Bastion and Spawn, but I think I'm traumatized from, oh my gosh, who was like our very scary Mei from last season? His name starts with a W. It's escaping me right now, but sometimes he would sit in spawn. Yeah, exact. Thank you. Yes, he would sit in spawn on the. You know exactly what I was talking about.
As soon as you said
so
very scary
traumatizing.
Mei, Winder popped in my head.
I would always hope that he would like rip out the Bastion just to see if he would break it out. And I think he maybe only did it once, but it was really fun to see like if he would really be bold enough to kind of roll a Bastion.
You know, there's a lot of teams that they like to toy around and have Bastion in the beginning and then switch just to kind of confuse the team. But it looks like we are going to run with the Orisa and Diva. Oh, Reinhardt almost falling there.
Yeah, this is going to be some heavy damage up top. Ryan's shield might not last very long here, so they're going to have to plan carefully how to move underneath them and either drag them down or they're going to have to go up.
Orisa does drop to point. With the rest of the team still on the high ground, that's unfortunate because it leaves Orisa alone. Mercy does drop for him, and Giggles falls. Oh, but they do get the res.
Oh, yeah, strong vibes are coming out here pretty early, like a minute in.
But he does get hacked. Looks like that Mystic went, I can't think of her name right. Sombra, there we go. Went Sombra to try to keep some strong noodle maybe at bay there.
Yeah, we have Mystic kind of just peppering from up top and unfortunately gets Danny on the bottom right there, but they're going to use him more to kind of just get underneath this underpass.
Hans does get the D-Mech on the Diva. Oh, we see Hanzo on the high ground trying to get a couple of picks here. Does get Hans pretty low.
Huge hack.
Team P, yes. Charge. Oh, but she was fortified and got nanoed.
It looks like Han is pretty low, but does get juice in the back right there. So I think Ohana's going to do like a little bit of a solid push back here. They had some great sort of counters going on.
Ohana definitely showing that they are strong on their own ping, and looks like Morgan is having a little bit of trouble, but they have been doing absolutely wonderful as well.
It looks like Giggle has like this shatter to be going on, and they do have window to employ too. So if she can get a decent, maybe decent window shatter combination, they can do probably a bit of clearing here. But Giggles needs a bit of time to be bought.
Oh, and Han again with the D-Mech. Han on this Echo is absolutely just showing dominance, being able to stay in the sky and get Diva D-Mech'd every instant that he can.
Yeah, we have like a minute left, and there's going to be some ultimate dumping, I think, here, as it usually goes in any Overwatch team fight.
Most definitely wait for the last second and just dump everything you absolutely can.
Ooh, Fairy Cookie goes down, but there will be a solid res brought by Danny.
Hanzo still holding the high ground here, but gets taken down by Hans. Oh, and here comes the Diva copy. Does get Soldier and Mercy. Looks like we're gonna go ahead and throw the bomb.
Yeah, Han just on the point, just terrorizing them with that Diva copy. Giggle went for the last touch, but did not quite make it.
Good job, Ohana. Really showing that they can defend as well as attack. This was beautiful.
Yeah, solid gaming from Ohana and Morrigan. So now both are on the board, ready to continue to map 3. Map 3.
And we are going to the crowd favorite, King's Row.
Oh, Thank goodness. Everybody's favorite. I don't know anybody who doesn't like King's Row.
That has definitely been like an International Overwatch League miners favorite. Everybody loves Kings Row. Everybody loves to fight on Kings Row. Anytime that we have pugs, like everybody wants Kings Row. It's just like one of the best maps.
All right, we are going for some swapping back and forth here. Is there any information you can give to people just joining us?
If you are just joining, we are 1-1. Everything is tied up here. Ohana doing an absolutely wonderful job on EU ping. Morgan doing an absolutely wonderful job on NA ping. Going into map 3 will be NA, so I'm kind of excited to see what Ohana can do to try to subside Morgan on their own ping. So this will be a very interesting Kings Row game.
All right, and yes. Oops, do not move everybody. I already did that. I'm like so excited to get to King's Row. I'm like shaking a little bit. Like making sure everything's right.
Most definitely. The excitement is real coming into this game. Both these teams are so well matched against each other that it has definitely been an up and down and around kind of situation because um, it is kind of coming down to a lot of the ping situation, as you saw, the first map being NA and Morgan taking the first map, second map being EU and Ohana taking it. So I'm really excited to see if Morgan will take it on their own ping or if Ohana can hold their ground and keep strong on these payload maps like they showed on Gibraltar.
Yeah, I'm wondering, so when you and Jack were casting, did you also have an EU-NA situation? How did you guys make it to map 5? Like, what was going on?
So fortunately, even though it was it was an Ohana team that was playing on the casting that we just did, but they were an A, so we were doing an NA against an NA. Um, so that kind of made it a lot more exciting because being on the same ping, there was no ping issues in the way. We did have a little bit of DC issues, but other than that, both those teams were absolutely just so well matched for that back and forth. So coming out of Ohana, Ohana being a very big org, having a team in almost every single tier, I'm super excited with seeing how they come out of here because not only like how we talked about with having EU practice on NA and NA practice on EU, with having Ohana being such a big org and having an NA team as well, it makes me start to think maybe that the rest of the Ohana League, if they all practice together, have a chance to practice on that NA ping. So that would be really, really exciting for them to, even though that Ohana team was a tier 4, I wonder if their tier team does mix in with their tier 4 and get some really good practice time in.
Yeah, I have seen some organizations use like teams from each level to kind of squeeze, either the upper or the lower tier, and it's quite a sight. I know when I was playing last season, I don't think that happened to us, but I think like a team that I knew would use like their tier 4 to train their tier 3 men. some hard days. Actually, I think we did at least once or twice. Man, it's nothing like getting super smoked by some people who are definitely tier above you.
Oh, most definitely. I know when I was managing, I liked to have higher tier teams play against us. I know a lot of the team didn't like it because we would just get stomped on, but it's not about playing a higher tier. It's about learning how you can defeat anybody that is higher than you. If you keep practicing against a higher tier team, then there can come that instant where you finally beat them, and then you feel so good inside, like, hey, we're tier 2. We could beat a tier 4 team. Let's go. it all comes down to your personal feelings, especially in Overwatch. If you start getting tilted or upset, then your team doesn't do very well. So it's always been my go-to to keep positivity and keep those teams up, even when you're losing, because it is all mindset most of the time.
Yeah, it looks like, oh, we got some changes, and Morrigan Band is back in, who was very excited in the chat saying, pick me coach. And he got exactly his wish. He is back in.
Most definitely, like you said, his Hanzo was really, really good going into that first map. So I'm excited to see if that Hanzo comes out to play again in King's Row.
Oh, we do have Dan back in, ready to go. Dan and Noodle together. Okay, let me make sure. So, I need like actual names. You know, ever since they introduced like having like your Blizzard name in the, I guess, like into this sort of world, it's so hard to keep track of everybody's new names because they have like PSN names or Xbox names and they have Blizzard names, and sometimes people will refer to like their common name that they use for them, but it's hard to keep track.
Most definitely. And then sometimes they also use their Discord name, in which their Discord name could be different than their Blizzard name. So then you're always having to double check to make sure that this is the right person. Um, but I mean, the way they give us the lineups and stuff now, it makes it a little bit easier.
Alright, so Rice Butcher comes in while Rick takes a quick water break, and Atlas comes in with Han Solo. 1247. Alright, so we have some changes over here on Ohana as well. And I think we are set to go. We can check with both teams and make sure that they are ready. Alright, and we are going to be ready to go in a second. Just checking, make sure ping is correct. You don't want any issues. We are back on USA Central, looking pretty strong, at least for me, because that is the ping that I use. And the map is correct, so it looks like we are ready. Oh, it looks like they're talking about soup in the chat while we wait for our coaches to give us the go-ahead to send them off.
Speaking of soup, that sounds really good.
I know it snowed here last night, and now I'm like, that would be a little cozy meal to have, you know?
Maybe some chicken and dumplings or some chicken noodle soup. Don't forget to switch Mystic over. She did have to
Oh, she did
back
re-enter?
out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome to the red team, Mystic. Or at least the red spectating. Giggle does not like soup because it's scary. It stays hot too long. Okay, some interesting soup opinions in the chat tonight. That's very interesting.
You know, whenever I make soup, my son makes me put ice in it to cool it down. I think that just waters it down, though.
Yeah, I can see the merit. I guess if it takes enough time, but I don't think we have to worry about the soup we're going to have in King's Row, 'cause I think we're going to be having bullets instead.
Now entering King's Row.
I mean, a bullet soup would be kind of hard to eat.
I think the particular spoon for a bullet soup is a gun. But, oh, what a good map. I feel like last season we got King's Row. I know it was in there, but I feel like last season we got King's Row like once. And then it was Elios every week after that.
Ready for battle.
Do see a lot of interesting picks out here with a Reinhardt Diva Soldier Farah and a Ana Mercy coming out of Ohana out of Ohana, and then the Reinhardt Diva Hanzo Farah with a Baptiste Mercy coming out of Morgan.
No, I'm like gonna have to like change my brain to make sure that they're like the right colors,
3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective.
Hold fast! Do not let them through!
Yeah, I'm a little worried that Atlas is going to be batting off a little bit more because the Pharah is just going to be bearing down on him. Oh, he does go down.
He does go down. This gives a good chance for Morgan to push this point. But Ohana's Diva is doing an absolutely wonderful job keeping this point contested, staying on this Reinhardt, trying to do as much as she can to take him down.
Okay, Atlas is back and ready to party, and it's going to be a little difficult. I believe they are the only two on the point right now.
And Morgan is able to take this point.
Yeah, Band keeping his eyes on strong on the Pharah back there, but it looks like Juice and his Mercy are going to go pay a quick little visit. That was cut very short.
Almost has his ult here.
Yeah, it looks like Atlas is giving them just enough space to get in, and then he's going to probably take some opportunity here to really lean in on that. But that little coverage always is a little difficult.
Oh, the sleep on that Farah.
Huge shatter.
Huge bomb coming out of Hans. You know, Ohana had a pretty hard time trying to keep that first point contested, but they're doing really well keeping this payload from moving.
Yeah, it seems like Atlas is managing like how his shield is going here now, especially because that Pharah is going to be bothering him. So I think he's playing a little bit safer, using point as coverage, doing what's best for the team and for himself.
We do have several alts online for both teams. We see dragons coming into play. Shatter also comes into play.
Oh, got a little Dan back here with a little visor coming in. Pretty hot. Oh, Ban gets caught in the back hallway, unfortunately. But they have local spawn, so it's really going to take them no time at all to regroup.
D.Va trying to keep that high ground from that Pharah.
Yeah.
Atlas's Shatter comes online. And there it is. Big Shatter gets 3-4 of them down onto the ground. Bomb coming into play in the back line.
Ooh, another. These D.Va bombs tonight are just finding multiple kills each time. Busy gets both supports.
And the Reinhardt as well. Dan Comp is able to take down Juice.
Yeah, Strong Noodle needed some love. On 2 health, doing their best to contest, but now it seems like they're able to kind of get back out there. Dan off to the right just a tiny bit.
He does almost have Visor online. I think he's going to try for this backline Visor, but Ban is right there on that health pack trying to take him down.
Firemaker taking a nap on the point, found by Atlas.
Dan is low, getting some heals, but he does have Visor.
Strong Noodle and Plague having a little bit of an issue back here. We do have dragons again from Ban, who's had a dragon basically, it's felt like every fight they've entered into.
If only they had a Zarya to combo that dragon with. Oh, and Strong Noodle falls to Juice, but does get the res.
Yep, and here we have Ban taking a little trip around, and he sends the dragon off into the Shatter. Huge play. Gets Ana in the meantime, and is not afraid of Han. Han is taking a quick retreat to get out of Ban's way.
Ohana kind of backing up here a little bit as Morgan has taken a second point here.
Yeah, it seems like Juice has had enough of the Pharah 1v1 and is ready to kind of clean up on Strong Noodle.
Oh, and there goes Justice, taking 2 out.
Yeah, Juice, Plague, and Ban kind of getting caught on the opposite side of their spawn, but it doesn't look like Ban is going to make it quite back.
Juice taking out Strong Noodle. Oh, we see Window coming into play. The Visor coming into play is from Juice.
We have a May wall. We're about to see some changes on the point here. New walls cause new problems.
Oh, bomb coming into the back line there. Does not take anybody out.
Atlas is being frozen by Band over here, kind of just making a quick escape. Yeah, and I think for this last fight, Atlas has this one shatter, and he's looking for good opportunity to use it, but they are running out of time here.
Yeah, with 20 seconds left on the clock, Morgan has to do something to make a push here. They do have bomb and beat ready. Oh, and we see bomb coming into play out of BZ. Big bomb. Big bomb. Soldier in the backline using visor, but gets pushed on by BZ.
Yeah, Dan might not make it out of here. And they're slowly but surely pushing it. Han goes for a last touch. We have a Mercy Valk going off. Baptiste window up. Just killer ultimates at the end.
Score 0-3. Switching sides.
Morgan getting to point 3 in overtime. No time left in the time bank. So let's see how Ohana does on this push.
Justice be done.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
I don't like standing around.
All systems operational. Diva, ready for combat.
Looks like we've got the Torb coming out of band here. That would be great on defense. Wonder how well he's able to play with that.
I think they were probably expecting that far to make a comeback, but we got Dan and Strong on double hit scan here.
Both these teams dumping a lot of damage and heals, so both sides does get the early pick from Strong Noodle on Firemaker.
Yeah, Han taking a little bit of a back trip, going for that turret. Turret is down, and we do have Visor already online. Strong Noodle just getting a 4-man, just simply, beautifully, deadly. Han Solo is going to get caught over here by Morrigan, unfortunately, but that's okay. I think it's going to be just fine.
Oh, Firemaker gets slept but woken up. Window does come into play.
Huge shatter. Atlas does get Firemaker, unfortunately.
Anna doing an absolutely beautiful job on these sleeps.
Yeah, I'm telling you, watching Ginger keep up their diva, like, just huge heals all around, but Han, again, another diva play where there are 2 kills.
Yeah, Han is coming out here very strong on this diva. The Coalescence coming into play just to do a little bit of damage and keep the team up.
They're gonna make it only these couple of feet, a diva bomb going off. Shielded by Atlas, thankfully. Oh, but huge drag. Yeah, lots of things going on. So how many ultimates was that?
A all of them because we just had Shatter as
Yeah.
well. The only alt we really have online right now would be Soldier for Ohana and Window coming out of Morgan.
Tactical necessity.
Yeah, Strong Noodle just keeping his eyes on Juice the entire time.
Let's get the quick res there on the Strong Noodle. Window coming into play here on top of the cart. Atlas just trying to do his best to stay out of the way of the Window.
Yeah, Strong Noodle out here with the pocket. Diva getting in his way, busy, kind of doing a little bit, but got demeched in the process. Atlas just being
The charge
super
on
aggressive.
Firemaker. Does look like Ohana is going to be able to get to the second point here. With 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in the clock to push this.
Anyone need some cold refreshment?
Strong Noodle already halfway to another visor. Just Ban, though, getting the pick on Danny. Very casual.
We see Dragons and Shatter coming into play. Atlas does fall.
Yeah, Firemaker has had enough. He went for that shatter there. He is ready to stop having his head squeezed by Atlas. I think he is ready to kind of battle him for sure on this last point here. They only got 3 minutes to go.
Okay, don't stop. Let's get it moving.
Ohana does have almost 4 alts coming online. The bomb and Shatter coming to play. Oh, big bomb coming out of Hans again.
Heroes never die. Heilstrahl aktiviert.
No, I love a good
Ohana still
bout.
having- Oh yeah. Ohana still has plenty of alts online.
They're going to come up really strong here with Ginger on the Lucio beat.
The Visor coming out of Juice. Or not. Yeah, Visor came out of Juice and Strong Noodle. Bomb coming into play. Ooh, gets Atlas.
And then sits on Dan for good measure.
Routing tower to forward barrier.
Looks like Dan decides to switch to Ash.
Somebody get the payload moving.
We do have Rice Butcher quietly in the back with this Nano, which could be a huge play for Ohana. Dan finds a pick.
Waiting patiently for that Nano to come into play. Do have Visor also in play. Here comes Visor. Oh, and he's Nano too. This could be a big Visor. Beat gets dropped. Window gets played. Shield as well coming out of Ban, or out of Juice.
All
Does
right.
look like Reinhardt's going to be able to make the touch.
We do have Dan, however, with the Torb ultimate. He just needs some opportunity, and there it is.
Diva gets demeched. Juice is so low. Juice gets down. Diva's so low she gets dropped.
And we
And Ohana pushes it.
a minute and a minute 30, basically the same in my eyes, just equally terrifying.
Switching sides.
So that means that Morgan will be pushing first.
I believe so, since everyone with the less time in the bank. Yeah, they're going to have to go first. So I wonder if they're going to pull something really just interesting here. I see an interesting
Oh, we
choice
see
now.
the bash.
No,
Aw.
aww.
Teasing us with that Bastion pick.
You know, I want it. I want to see it. If anybody's out there on the other teams listening.
Well, they shouldn't be, though. Or, well, other teams, yes, but not these teams. Sooner or later, we will see the famous Bastion pick.
I'm interested to see if Ban is going to take them to the top of the statue or where they're going to go with their Sim TP.
We have seen a lot of SMTPs go to the high ground, but it looks like maybe they're going to try to set up to go straight behind us. Oh, it looks like maybe that was just a fake out teleporter because none of them decided to take the teleporter.
Yeah, there's a couple turrets on the ground for good measure for dragging, but Band is ready and cooking down here on the point.
And Hans gets demeched and taken down. It looks like Morgan is going to go ahead and capture this point. With 15 seconds left on the clock, let's see what Ohana can do to get them off this point.
Yeah, everybody seems to be just about halfway to some really strong ultimates here, and so they're going to have a couple of fights before we see anything major happen.
Not quite seeing any picks yet come, but Firemaker is getting low.
Yeah, Atlas did go for a pin right there, suspecting he might walk beside there, but he didn't. He missed them by just a tiny bit. But Window's going to make some space for them. But Firemaker's getting burst down. Atlas does finally get that
Reinhardt
pin.
is nanoed. When Diva gets hacked. There's bomb on point. Does get banned. And that clears the point.
Ooh, the hardest part about having only a minute left in the bank is that you need enough time to capture and then move at the same time, and then everything after that's overtime. It's so stressful.
Most definitely. With them having a minute and 30, they've got that extra 30 seconds there to have a little bit more room for that alt economy.
Alright, and so we have to see a full capture from Ohana and then moving it a couple of meters through the doorway. So I'm hoping that they'll kind of get strong here. Strong Noodle might say, I don't know him, but I'm making some assumptions. And that they're going to go ahead and move this point just as quickly, and we'll end up seeing kind of what goes on here pretty soon.
We do see the Symmetra and Torb on defense, so maybe that might give them a little bit of extra room there to keep them back. Yeah, that's on defense. I couldn't think for a second.
This looks like they're going the automated route. The 3 turrets and the 1 lonely Torb turret is going to kind of drag them down a little bit, but I think if Ohana can move quickly on these turrets, they can move quickly on the team.
They did get 1 turret down so far. And Juice's turret as well.
Yeah, Juice taking a bit of a detour to the high ground. He might have another turret ready for them that might be a little harder to reach. But Han is on top of it.
Yep. Diva knows what to do.
We do see a little bit of a scary D-Mech Atlas just out here, just going for it. And more does come up to kind of slow him down a bit.
We've got Coalescence coming in, trying to do a little bit of damage. We also see Visor coming into play. Nanoed Reinhardt. Oh, but he gets shattered.
Yeah, and we do have a mysterious top window turret kind of clearing the point up there that's been thrown up there by Torb, so it might cause a couple issues for Ohana here. Band is back.
The turrets all clumped in one area, but they all get taken down. And now we're in overtime, finally capturing this point. It looks like they're gonna go ahead and just give them the point capture here.
We do have some strong ultimates right here. From I bet that extra 30 seconds really added on how these ultimates get built, because we have some crazy stuff coming online.
The wall's been put up just to give a little bit of extra push as they start to push this payload. Oh, we see Visor coming into play from Strong Noodle. Oh, and the May freeze here. Bomb is on point. Bomb doesn't get anybody. Strong Noodle does take out too. Molten Core comes into play but gets taken out. Oh,
Han again finds two.
Ults.
And a team kill to finish it for Ohana.
BZ with the play of the game. I do have to say BZ and Hans, both on these divas, have done absolutely beautiful.
I know, I feel like we haven't seen a diva bomb on... You know how sometimes the diva bombs really kind of hit or miss? And it either really hits or... These have been total hits all night from both sides. We get a 4, we get a 3, we get a 2, another 2, a 2. You know, they're always finding someone. They're planning them so well. I like... It's such a scary thing. You think with the Reinhardt they'd be a little bit more afraid to kind of chuck it, but they're just going for it.
Most definitely. If you are tuning in, it is 2-1 in Ohana's favor. We are going to be hopping over to Blizzard World, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct. We are going to enjoy a bit of time at the amusement park. You know, get a little one-on-one or six-on-six in, if you will.
Most definitely. And if I'm not wrong, this is also an EU map?
You are correct, and I believe it's also watch point because Ohana's up by 2, I think, right? That's correct? I'm counting right?
Yes, you are correct. It is 2-1 in Ohana's favor. So this is either match point or possibly coming back with a tie 2-2. I do have to say Ohana on that NA ping was not lacking at all. They came in strong and did absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, like at that end point there were like some like that May ultimate. I was like holding my breath, waiting for it because I was like, I know this is how it's gonna flip. Like May ultimate's such a scary thing because it's like if you're playing Reinhardt, do you have like a correct direction to charge out? If you're playing Moira, do you have somewhere to go? If you're Mercy, you just kind of wait for death to come. You know, it's such a scary like ultimate from such a soft character.
Most definitely. That May coming out of Dan Comp. I believe he was the May, right?
But yeah, he was at the May at the end, absolutely.
Yeah, that May in that last 30 seconds did come into clutch right there.
All right, going through our spectator list, just making sure everybody's happy while we wait to see if teams have any adjustments. Usually, right about now is where we see teams settle in. They're getting a little bit more comfortable with who they're feeling like is working out for them today, and I'm wondering if we're going to see any major changes. Because I think Morrigan flipping their entire script for King's Row was super interesting.
Well, I mean, if you take a look at the spectators, they have enough people to make that entire flip there to give them plenty of room to change up things any way that they could see possible to kind of give Ohana a hard time.
Yeah, I totally meant to ask what time they started playing for the on the Actually, I have math. We have math. I could figure that out. But I have some of the EU teams I remember from last season were playing like at insane hours, like 4 in the morning sometimes. I believe your last team was also like a 4 a.m. team at some point. I was like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
we've tried our best to equal it out now, especially for EU teams. We try not to play past a certain time, just so they're not playing at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning for them. But also try to make it a little bit equal for us on EST and PST, so we're not playing at like noon um, during the daytime where we can't really schedule games because people have work and everything. Um, so we've been trying to do our best to equal out these times, and especially on weekends where it's a little bit easier to play around, but on weekdays it could come out to be a real hassle.
Alright, we have just some small changes. Mystic and Sid come back in for Morrigan, and Poggy Woggy moves in for Busy on the tank line. So we have some changes. Band and Juice still going to stay together. Solid DPS line. They are going to continue their reign of terror going into map 4.
I am definitely excited to see Poggy Woggy playing tank because I've only seen him play support so far, and his support Lucio was pretty strong. So I'm wondering what kind of tank he can play and how strong that will be.
Alright, we do have Rick coming in for Dan. And then we have Tim and Snappish coming in on Ohana. Alright, and we are saying goodbye to Cookie. You know, that's like a precious, precious name.
Most definitely. Cookie has been a wonderful tank player in this series so far.
Alright, I mean, I usually feel like I have like predictions right about now, but I got nothing. You got anything?
I'm excited to see him map 5. So come on, Morgan, let's go. Let's have a really good EU fight here coming out of the NA. But I mean, just like we've been mentioning the whole entire time, the ping difference can be a little bit of a problem. So I'm hoping Morgan will be strong on this ping and really show that they're not going to give up.
Yeah, with Blizzard being like the map that it is, that there's so much opportunity, especially at second and third point. But my favorite is like if I can get a good hold on first, just by kind of solidifying. Because the one thing they did great when they made this map is that that front of the point is covered. So you can just kind of like as a support, especially for me, I tend to hide a little bit back there. It's just safer for me. But I mean, getting also caught in it too is also horrible. So it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, especially like you said, with it being covered with that statue right there, it makes it have good coverage from that beginning choke, but then also gives you a little bit of hassle if you're running like an Anna or Baptiste. If one of your tanks go a little bit too far and they go out of your light sign, you can't really get any healing to them. Um, so, I mean, it could be a good or a bad thing depending on where these teams set up and play.
I know, I wonder if Ban is going to bring back the Torb. It seemed like he was pretty confident for the Torb for King's Row, and this is also like a great Torb map. There's just a lot of places to throw it. I'm wondering if he's going to feel like just as confident.
Most definitely. He did do very well in the Torb on King's Row. And Juice did very well with that Symmetra as well. So I'm really interested to see maybe if they try to run something like that on defense again.
Yeah, Strong Noodle as well. Like, his Pharah play was excellent, but his soldier play is scary as heck. I don't know if we can say the other one on here. I'm keeping it kid friendly, but he has been like rolling on these visors like all night, just like coming out that his support line is just making sure he's able to get them off, and it's just like moving so quickly. And then we have Han and Atlas, two just aggressive tanks, just taking it to the head each time. It's like really incredible.
Well, it looks like they are having a switch again. I'm not too sure.
It looks like we're gonna get at least one more for Ohana. They might want to do a little bit of a change. I know Snappish is newly introduced to at least us tonight, so I'm interested in seeing how their support line changes or what Snappish is really bringing to the table.
I'm excited to still see this strong tank line coming out of Atlas and Hans, along with Strong Noodle staying in on DPS. I do have to say I enjoyed his soldier um, on King's Row.
I know. I want to ask him, but I might have to find him in our Overwatch League Discord later. What kind of noodle is he? Like, he's a strong noodle, but what kind? Is he like a bow tie? Is he a pappardelle? Is he a rigatoni? You know, or maybe he's a
Or
ramen
an
noodle.
elbow noodle, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Strong. So there's some structure going on, right?
hmm Or one of the seashell noodles, you know.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, just able to hold a lot of things. Just holding a lot of visors in the noodle hand. All right. So, surprise, surprise, we're bringing Tim back in for Rice Butcher. Tim is back in the game. He did some backdoor negotiating. He's back on the roster.
Just when you thought he was out, they bring him back in.
Oh, and I did get some news. So, Strong Noodle, as known by Ohana, they call him Floppy Ramen.
Very interesting.
See, now they're opening up a door. 'Cause I'm like, well, what flavor? Hmm? Is he spicy? Is he
Spicy.
miso? Is he a savory noodle? You know, what kind of soup does he... See, maybe that's why they were talking about soup earlier.
Or is he just like a basic ramen, you know?
You know, yeah, something you had as like a kid. You know, learn how to cook by yourself for the first time.
Anything that's microwavable.
All right, we are heading into Watch Point with Ohana up 2. Morrigan still out here fighting very hard with one on the board, and we'll see who takes it home here. Or not home. We're looking for a map 5.
Most definitely. Come on, Morgan. Let's go.
You know, I feel like I should have asked our resident witch what he thought for this week's game. We really should get him, like, his own channel in the server.
Call it the brewing pot.
Yeah, the Chaos Corner.
You know, one thing I find very interesting about this map is that there's this little area over here that has a timeline of every Blizzard game made. If you ever play Blizzard World, go ahead and take a chance to check out that timeline.
Personally, I have been distracted many a game by the Snackorama's place. They have this burger that has like 3 patties and 3 buns in it, and a hot dog that exceeds the bun size. It's very dramatic looking. I'd pay good money.
Oh, most definitely. That sounds delicious.
Snappish is bringing a Zenyatta to our game tonight. I love it. Playing for Ohana.
Looks like Morgan's going to go ahead and try to take this high ground and keep it here. A little quick fire strikes coming from both Reinhardts here. Get eaten by both divas.
Yeah, Ben does get Echo pretty quickly, so I'm wondering if Rick might consider any changes considering Hanzo and Ash are playing for Morrigan right now.
Looks like half of Morgan decided to drop and fall back to the point while the other half stay up on high ground, but they do start getting dived by that diva.
Band does get another pick and another pick. He has so far gotten the first 3 picks of the match, just killing him. Rick does get out here and get juice, however, with the sticky bombs. And as luck would have it, Band does have dragons already.
Looks like we have Strong Noodle on the high ground, but decides to drop back to the rest of his team.
It's just a scratch. You'll be fine.
See Ohana slowly making the push here around the corner.
Yeah, it looks like, yep, they're playing for window, but we do have Nano to kind of counter it.
Oh, and dragons from the back.
Atlas does get that shatter off. Oh, but,
But
gets
he gets
taken out.
taken down. Ooh.
Yeah, we do have Noodle's favorite coming in with the visor here, and Han also coming up on a Diva Bomb. We have some strong ultimates, honestly, to go play into these next couple of fights.
Ohana making the slow approach through choke here. Looks like maybe they're going to try to take the high ground.
Strong Noodle gets the Helix rocket on Ban and decides to go for the visor. He sees the Mercy. But Poggy Woggy gets in his face and eats a good bit of that visor.
On the charge on Firemaker. We see Trans coming into play. Firemaker is back here.
Yeah, Snappish just keeping an eye on this kind of creeping Hanzo, but he does get a little bit of a headshot there taken out, unfortunately.
Diva trying to get away. Hans does get demeched.
You know, I was wondering if they were going to do a little bit of a stagger, but it seems like they needed to get him out of the way pretty quickly, considering that Strong and the others are on their way back already.
30 seconds left on the clock. Ohana has to try to figure something out to get this push through.
We're going to have a double Diva Bomb moment here in a bit. Echo
we
copy.
do get the copy. Charging on that Diva, pushing her away from point. And Shattered getting demeched.
Ooh, Poggy Woggy not able to get that bomb off in time, but Van and his dragon and quiver of arrows kills 3.
But unfortunately isn't enough as Ohana starts taking this cap.
Time to raise my DPS.
Yeah, Firemaker and Poggy still with these really strong tank ultimates. They could try and slow them down a bit by parceling them out, but I'm interested in seeing how they'll go about it.
His barrier is down, but he is still staying on this corner, just swinging away, looking possibly. There's the shatter, but the Diva Bomb is behind. Ban again with that double pick there.
Back and ready for more.
I must reclaim.
You know, even though they're running that hit scan with Ban on Hanzo and Juice on McCree, you know, Rick has decided not to change, and he's actually doing very well on that. Echo. I couldn't remember her name for a second.
Yeah, she's so many people. Yeah, not feeling deterred at all. Strong copy, a really strong copy, were able to help them kind of cinch that first point for Ohana, and so now what's left of Morrigan out front is going to have to figure out how to get out, and it's unfortunately, the support line. My heart breaks.
Ohana was able to push that second point with ease.
Yeah, it looks like Morrigan again is stacking up on some ultimates over there, and then also quickly followed by Ohana Black Coral, who has some strong Rhine, Echo, Soldier, back to, everything. So they're going to be kind of evenly matched again to toss them.
We see Visor coming into play from Strong Noodle.
And it's looking a little comfortable here and yeah, they are in with some time on the clock, 1:35.
You know, they had a very slow start there in the beginning, but that last 30 seconds that they had to try to capture that point absolutely went in their way.
All right. Let's see. I'm starting to learn that we can count on Atlas for his Rhine play, but it seems like he's showing some interest in flipping over to Orisa for their push. Not push, hold. What am I saying?
Everyone signed their life insurance policies?
Oh, but Strong Noodle on the Junkrat. Have we been seeing him? He's played a couple of things. Did he play Junkrat earlier in the night? I'm trying to remember. Ooh, and banned on a sneaky Sombra. We're going to see some hacking going on. It's going to be a little anxiety inducing. He's taking his trip to the point now. Yeah, he's trying his best not to get caught here either with the kind of spray going on. It's a little difficult to cross, but he manages to get over and start his journey around the map.
Ooh, and Winston falls to Atlas.
Yeah, it seems that Morrigan's going to go for a little bit of a regroup here without Sombra, who is safely in the back line, just kind of taking stock of what's going on with the team. Oh, there is a Sombra hack up top on Baptiste. She is gone. But they're using an opportunity to kind of scramble them back towards the point, just push them back a little bit further. Oop, and Firemaker does get taken out. Han going for it, just in a little bit of a charger on the support line to get them to get back, but it looks like they're going to continue to hold here pretty comfortably. Ban does get snappish though.
I mean, that is what she is good for, trying to get in that backline and bully those supports.
It looks like Snappish safely making their way back to point. But we do have a tire coming out here. Just kind of waiting a minute to roll it. And this is a long tire. We got 2 more seconds. Oh, didn't quite find anyone yet.
Oh, and the hack on Atlas. Atlas is in a little bit of trouble here, but the team is able to keep him up.
Juice is back, and Strong Noodle does get taken out. We do have a bab window for healing going up to make sure that they're staying up, but a hack does go off, and Ban is in. Baptiste faced him, does go down.
The Coalescence coming in for the push. Trans just to keep everybody alive. Atlas gets hacked again.
Huge shatter coming in.
Well, and Bob also out there to play. The bomb on point does not get anybody.
It does seem like we're coming down to the last 30. Ohana, a bit halfway to some good ultimates. Closest is Orisa, followed by Baptiste. But we do have Mercy Valk to work with over on Morrigan. That could kind of favor them with the heals and damage boost flip. See if they're feeling bold.
Hanzo trying to get the quick pick here on Atlas, but Atlas is able to fortify and get back to their team.
Yeah, Ban and Strong Noodle taking a look at each other. Ban does get the win, though, with the Mercy Pocket.
Atlas gets taken down, and it looks like that Morgan is going to be able to get this capture point. Oh, but the res came out on the sim.
It's always, it's always the last 30 seconds. I always say it every time. Yeah, oop. It seems like Strong Noodle did do a little bit of a change. Went to Tracer. They're starting to spend some more time in the back line.
Atlas throws out bongos. Does get Diva demeched. Oh, Diva is able to get back to her team and get the heals she needs.
Snappish gives Mystic a pat on the forehead with a loaded Zen balls. Multiple. It seems like there's a little bit of a teleport to the left adventure. They're going to go take the high ground here, it looks like.
Ban is sitting on payload, though. And there goes the dragons. Atlas is getting low here and gets taken down.
Yeah, Strong Noodle just kind of a little bit free right here. The Zen helping him out with the Zen ultimate. If he can go ahead and get a pick here, they might be able to stabilize a bit.
Oh, but he is stuck in this backline without his heals. Oh, he just set down his heal pad and gets taken down by Juice.
We do get a bomb going for a little bit of contesting, but I think they're going to make this. Oh, it's a little bit to go. There's also a bomb going off as well.
And they are able to capture second point.
Yeah, Band now in the main getting a little deadlier than the Hanzo is gonna end up changing the terrain of the game for everybody, make it a little bit more difficult.
We do have ults coming online from both teams. We got Mystics ult, and here it comes now. Along with Bongos coming into play.
Yeah, it seems Atlas and Band are getting a little closer than he'd like, but Band does a little freeze right here while Atlas, a little backing up to make sure that he's safe. Band does go down.
And Ohana does the quick cleanup here, pushing Morrigan back. 30 seconds left on the clock. We do have a couple of ults with a Diva Bomb coming out of Hans. And Snappish very close to Transcendence. And here comes Transcendence into play. Just waiting for that Diva Bomb to be thrown. It looks like nope, but decided not to throw it into there.
Yeah, it seems like Bob is there. We're gonna have a bomb, and we're gonna have a bunch of stuff happening. Han gets two. We do have Ban a little bit further than he'd probably like, but he does end up going down.
And Ohana wins. Congratulations, Ohana. Great games.
I feel like we've learned a lot about like how these teams, like particular play styles, really play to like their strength. Like Morrigan, they're really great on the DPS, just kind of making sure that they get what they want out of their team. And not that both weren't doing, you know what I mean? It's so, they have like these little instances, and then Ohana, they have this amazing tank line, just really strong, really heavy, just ready to brawl. It was really interesting watching like how they would come together.
Most definitely. And, Strong Noodle here, he has definitely been a strong noodle this entire series. Visor after visor after visor, just a complete enjoy to watch.
Yeah, Firemaker and like watching them at the end here, just kind of on the tank line, like super strong, just ready to brawl with Atlas and Han. Like that was it was excellent stuff. Mystic and Sid doing great on support. Like I don't know, do you have like an MVP? I think I have one, but who would you pick?
I have to go with Hans. He's just been an absolutely beautiful diva player. And his Echo on Gibraltar was just, like I said, just an enjoy to watch.
I can totally agree. I think like watching Band on this Hanzo, just kind of like getting into the backline and making these like amazing shots, and he did excellent, super well, like playing DPS for them today.
Most definitely, Band was a pretty scary Hanzo. I can say that. Dragon after dragon after dragon. Absolutely strong for Morgan's team.
Well, I guess now that we have settled week one between Morrigan and Ohana so far, and we're looking at some great playing throughout the season, and I'll be seeing you later tonight, right? What's our next game in like an hour?
You're asking me, and I can't remember right now.
I think we are looking at, and I hope I wrote that down, because my brain is very big.
Alolon? Is it Alolon?
That's what I said.
I can't even pronounce these names. We'll have to try to figure out how to pronounce them before the stream.
I'm gonna do some practicing. I'm hoping that this is Enceladus, like the moon, I think, of Jupiter's moon, I think. But if Enceladus, if you're watching, don't rake me over the coals. That's the wrong planet. You know, I'm doing my best. But oh, we have Alola. Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Alola. Alolan? Oh, maybe they don't pronounce the end. Okay. Thank you in the chat. I appreciate it. We will use that later. But yeah, if you're coming in, we are done here tonight for this match. We will be back in like an hour for our next coming up game. And Ohana Black Coral has won 3-2-1 against Morrigan. But it's only week one, so there could always be some upsets towards the middle and the end of the, season. Any final words before we go out?
No, I am good. Congratulations, Ohana.
Yes, great job, everybody. We hope you enjoyed the stream. We really appreciate you guys coming. And we are the International Overwatch League. I am Light. This is our queen, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks so much.
Bye.